Hello. Karen from Quantum Heart Awakening. Let's get into it. It's been a while. Lots has been going on. We just had a grand opening of our space yesterday. Happy it's behind us. Ready to get back to our regular scheduled programming. All right, let's go. Let's just do a twin flame. By the way, I did record a masculine and a feminine on my old phone and it just wasn't working. So forgive me. I'm a little out of whack. Let's see where we're going today. Anything else, Spirit? Okay. Let's see. What do we have? The Kabbalah, spiritual path, life lessons, karma. We have dimensional planes of perception, mastery, accountability, and acceptance. We have the great elation, reconfiguration cycles, and gratitude. A lot of perspective coming in, right? A lot of discernment is going to be needed. What does this say? Chamber of imagination, whimsy, fantasy, and wonder. And then we have seal of evolutionary colors, progressive awareness, multi-directional change. Yes, multi-directional change. Okay, let me just feel this. I'm really not centered. That's going to bother me, but whatever. We're going to let it go. Let me just check what's in the unconscious position. Merkaba matrix, light body expansion, illuminated presence. Okay, I'll put that there. So as a collective, feminine and masculine, we are in this place of individuating from what has come before this moment. We are taking radical accountability. We are being called to this higher place. We are being called to step into mastery. And the first level of mastery is being able to reconfigure our awareness so that we can take a grounded, progressive step forward. You know, it's funny, as I said forward, I immediately was drawn to this card, multi-directional change. So even though we are perceiving that we are moving forward into the future or thinking about things in the past, really, we are infinite creatures. That fractal out into the quantum field in all directions, in all ways, all at the same time. So I know that's overwhelming sometimes to think about it in that way, but just know that even though your awareness and focus is here, your think of it like, you know, when a boat is going through the ocean and they leave a wake behind them, even though your awareness and your consciousness is in this direction, your quantum wake is fractaling out in a million different ways out into the quantum field. This is a personal belief. I will own this. I don't think that we as humans even have the ability to perceive that level of infinite. You know, it's such an infinite fractal, and our awareness is focused and can only focus on one thing at a time or a few things at a time. So the point of me sharing this is I don't think we will ever be able to hold the full concept of just how much our system and our hearts and our truth and our resonance affects the rest of the grid. And I call this ineffable essence. I call that God. That's just me. But there's something about allowing that awe and wonder of this entire existence, of this entire, I just got chills up my spine. And just take a look at all these amazing images. It's so, they're so multidimensional. They're almost ethereal and also quantum and also grid-like, and also, you know, it's all the things all at the same time. So there's something about really allowing that whimsy, that fantasy, that awe-inspiring wonder to permeate our hearts, to permeate our beings, and allow ourselves and our awareness to get comfortable in the idea that we will never know. We will never be able to maybe see or perceive the full picture in our lifetime. That might be a gift we gain at the end of this lifetime. We don't know, right? So there's something here for feminines and masculines that it's not about the energies in this reading. It's about our like zoomed out bird's eye view perspective of this entire quantum journey. Whew, okay, that's a lot. That's a lot. Where do we want to go, Spirit? I had a whole nother thing to say and it slipped my mind. Maybe that was on purpose. I had like a whole nother thread I was picking up. Spirit, where do you want me to go? Yeah, so just to circle back, feminines and masculines right now, this is not about looking to self or looking to the other. This is about being a student of consciousness. And Carolyn May so deliciously reminds me that as a student of consciousness, our jobs are to study cause and effect. That is it. Our job is to study cause and effect without having an emotional, I'm going to use her words because they're harsh and aggressive and also true, without contaminating our perceptions with our emotional experience. Now, this was very hard for me to hear. Okay, let me say the full thing again. As a student of consciousness, our job is to study cause and effect. The moment we bring in our personal emotions about what's happening in front of us, the data is contaminated. And this is a very hard thing because so many of us are basically chasing our tail of our emotions, right? We bump up against experience, we have an experience, we perceive the experience, and then we oftentimes develop emotions about the experience. So much of our training is in being able to hold off our emotional experience, expression, or truth in order to assess what's happening in front of us. Okay, something's happening. I'm witnessing the cause, right? When something's going on and you're aware of it, you're witnessing the cause. Now, our question in that moment is to ask, okay, sorry, my brain just stopped. Hold on. Okay, sorry, they're just bringing me back to the original message of accountability. So when we are experiencing the world around us, and I'm sorry, I know why they stopped me because I was saying it incorrectly. I was saying it backwards. When we perceive something around us, we are witnessing the effect. Now, our job as students of consciousness is to take accountability for the process of excavating the cause. What cause happened that produced this effect? Now, that's a very tall order. And I don't, sure, I can't stop you. If you want to cannonball into the deep end of consciousness in this work, amazing. I get it. That's how I am. I cannonball into the deep end because I'm curious and I'm excited to learn something new. And it can be a lot though. Now, if you are in a place where you find yourself sort of, deep in the emotional trenches, I'm saying it nicely, if you find yourself really kind of caught up in the emotions and you're not able to get out at this time, don't try to do this. Just take care of self. Like, let's honor the very real human limitations of our journey. Like, you are where you are and you can't be somewhere other than where you are. And that's okay. That's okay. There's no judgment. And I understand why Carolyn Mace is an acquired taste for a lot of people because some of her words are a little harsh. And I get why she's harsh because she's trying to navigate our attune us to our higher selves. But some of us just aren't there yet. I wasn't there for many, many years. I'm going to say a couple decades. I wasn't there. I always said the phrase, this is me, this is coming from me. I always said our emotions are stepping stones to the truth, right? You have an emotion, it gives us an awareness, and then the work begins of starting to peel back the layers like an onion of like, okay, why am I feeling this? What is happening around me? What is going on? And you start to kind of recalibrate the system in a way that allows us to excavate something just a little deeper, right? And so it's funny also too, because Carolyn Mace is such you guys are probably sick of hearing me talk about her, but she's my core spiritual mentor. And part of the spiritual path is that, let me say it like this, part of approaching something so massive and infinite as the quantum existence, as the quantum reality, as consciousness itself, is to step into the realm of the contrary, is to step into the role as a contrarian. What does that mean? It means that you are going to find that deep spiritual truths oftentimes contradict themselves. So in one hand, Carolyn Mace is telling us, the second you bring emotions into it, the data is contaminated and you cannot be a true empty vessel to channel these gifts through you. In the other hand, she's also someone that has said the pursuit of emotions is the pursuit of God. And so do you see how these things completely contradict one another? And so it's important to say, okay, well, what's important about them? What's important about them is our discernment over when to use what tool, when to use which, how to discern which thought form or theory or idea or lens to deploy in which we, where we're evaluating a certain circumstance. So, in terms of self-work, the pursuit of the emotions absolutely is the pursuit of God. If you're bumping up against something in the world, feminines and masculines, and it's making you feel something, that feeling, that emotion holds an infinite treasure chest of knowledge about self. That is when you use that. However, if you are trying to channel, if you are trying to step into your role as a divine witness and hold that infinite divine love within you, you have to take the personal out of it. When you're holding space for someone, when you are in service to the collective, when you are stepping into the mystery of self and your gifts, you have to remain an empty vessel. Every time before I start any of my readings, I say, God, please clear my mental, physical, spiritual, emotional, astral body, and physical environment so that I may remain a hollow channel to receive your love, messages, and guidance for the highest and best good of self and the planet. I literally say that multiple times a day. Even when I start to get caught up in my own puny density, my own puny emotional density, and I'm not saying that in a degrading or demeaning way. My puny density oftentimes is my step one. So it's an incredibly humbling experience that no matter how lofty I get, no matter how many profound divine truths I get to hold and share with you all and be this teacher and do all these amazing things, this shit humbles me every time. Because why? Because I am that messy, puny human. I am just this, fraction of the quantum field that is having this very personal experience, and I'm drowning in my own emotions and density and my humanity, right? That's really what it is. And I'm thinking back to one of my other mentors, James Finley, who was asked, or maybe it was Thomas Merton that was asked, what do monks do in the monastery? And he said, we fall down and get back up. We fall down and get back up. We fall down and get back up. Now, what did he actually mean by that? We fall down and trip over our humanity. We get back up when we remember the profound divine truth that is divine love. That's the process. There's no shame in falling down because it's just what it is. As humans, we are here to learn. It's like, again, we incarnated here in Earth School. We chose which classes we wanted to take. We chose the curriculum. We chose our professors. We chose all these, our fellow students. We chose all of these micro things in our lives that have been created for us, right? It's not, none of this is happening to us. It's happening for us. I'm sure you've heard that like a million times. Okay, let's move on. Spirit, all right, I'm getting twin flame cards. I haven't used this deck in a while. Let's see what we're doing. And you notice this is a twin flame reading, but it's a collective. We're zoomed out. This isn't like, we're not checking in on the individual feminine and masculine energy. We're honoring the collective family What are we collectively going through right now? And how can we take the appropriate stance for this next leg of the journey? What do we have? We have High Priest, personal empowerment. Whoa, these are launching out. We have Take Me Home, pathway to true love. Okay, explosion. Hold on. Where do we go? Okay. We have clearing karma, Kundalini activation, and I'm very drawn to this kind of Kabbalah. I almost said Spine of Fire, but that's another card in this deck. It's the Kundalini activation. It's all chakras firing firing on all cylinders. Sorry, I'm getting so tripped up in my words because they're so pointing me to this image. And chakra, I believe another word for a chakra is a wheel or a cycle. So you guys are seeing this flat 2D image, but I'm seeing it in motion. These are all spinning for me right now. And it's not only spinning in a 2D way, it's spinning in a multi-dimensional way. And so there's something here about just allowing that there's actually nothing to do, feminines and masculines. There's nothing to do. You are getting out of the way, out of all of the work that you have done, and you're allowing all of this, like gears in a clock. It's like they're all, wait, I'm not doing it right. Like gears in a clock turning. They're all working together. They're all moving without your need for intervention. Mission accomplished. Welcome home. All this activation is clearing your karma, and you are stepping into this higher role, this higher calling as a high priest, high priestess. What does this mean? Take me home, pathway to true love. True love is that infinite oneness love where you recognize self in other and other in self. And when you can really integrate and embody that way of life to understand that there really is no other, you are accessing the highest. Well, I don't know, but that's what's coming through me. Sorry, it just stopped. My human self stopped my divine self from saying that. I was about to say, you're accessing the highest way of being, to kind of be one with the grid, to be one with all of existence. Imagine living that way. I'm pretty overwhelmed just as a human reading this, because we're here where it's actually possible. Sorry. And I'm getting very moved by this. And this is where Carolyn Mace's truth is completely anchoring into my reality. I'm having an emotional experience, and it is disrupting the data that's coming through me. And I also love myself. So I'm going to honor the truth that my emotions are sacred and beautiful. And as a human, I get to honor the awe and wonder of this profound path. Do you understand how profound it is to just that you're a person asking these questions? I'm sorry, I'm very moved by this. Just the fact that we're here and we're asking these things, and we're climbing up the ladder just one more time, right? One more question, one more idea, one more call to this higher love. Listen, if you are satisfied with everything in the world and in your life, you wouldn't need to ask the question. You would just live your life, right? And the fact that you're here, you're listening to me, you're listening to someone like me, you are calling yourself to something higher. And you just by showing up here are fractaling out in an infinite number of directions, creating so many sacred ripple effects in the field. You just by asking the question, you are awakening other people around you, wherever you are on the planet. What does this say? We have soul merger, ebb and flow. Yes, it's exactly what I just said. When we can step into this place where we are merging with the infinite. I've never, ever seen this reading. And I'm sorry I'm like on a whole tangent, but I've never seen this as a reader. We've never been here before. And that's why this card makes sense. The great elation, this mass reconfiguration. We are closing out cycles of separation. We are closing out cycles of pain and grief and any other dense energy that comes along with this perception of separation. Because the reality is that we are all one. And to step into that level of gratitude, I mean, this truth should make you fall to your knees and weep. This is how profound this stuff is. And then we have twin flame, everything is possible. So, wait, let me get through all of them. And then we have king, divine masculine. This is really beautiful. I don't even know how to start this message. Let me check the unconscious. Usually when I'm tongue-tied, it means there's more. Yeah, look at this. Unification, aligning with abundance. Wow. Okay, hold on. Everything's changing. So here's what's happening, feminines and masculines. Your system is calibrated to step into this unity with source. Your system, your neurological pathways, your heart energy, your heart resonance and frequency, your body's energetic blueprint in the world has been calibrated. You can do this. There's no question of can you step into this oneness? Can you step into this unity? You can do it, and you will do it if you want to. However, what's being pushed into the shadow is this unification, aligning with abundance. So literally, what is stopping you in this from kind of taking this next, becoming this next iteration of this life force in your life is you. This is what's being pushed into the unconscious. Okay, so I'm getting so many messages. The other way we can look at it is that something is in your way on purpose. There's like one more, it's not an accident. I'm just realizing I put this on the personal empowerment card. So there's two narratives coming up. There's the one that you're staring oneness in the face and it's terrifying and you are holding back until you feel safe, comfortable, whatever that looks like for you. That's one narrative, right? The second narrative is that there's one more challenge. There's one more lesson to learn. There's one more assignment to complete before you can step into this full unity to align with this abundance. Because what do we know? Everything is possible. When you're in the quantum field, everything is possible. Listen, when you're in the quantum field, you're not worried about time and space. Time and space is something that affects 3D reality, right? When you're in the quantum field, like think about, I'm working with this amazing woman and she always laughs that she thinks about someone and then they call her. Like she literally says their name and boom, her phone's ringing. And I'm like, oh, that's hashtag ordinary. That's totally ordinary. Like you called her in the quantum field. Your energy made that call before you called in 3D. And she cracks up every time. But I've been with her when it happens. It's happened so many times. I'm like, oh yeah, you're a strong manifester. I just tell her like it is. That's just what it is. And so she doesn't operate, her ego isn't interrupting that flow of intention in the quantum field. She's flowing freely. She calls someone names, boom, they're calling her phone. Like it's just that quick. And so us as humans, we put all these blocks in the way of that truth, but really that can happen for everybody. It's a matter of how much are you showing up in that pure, pristine energy with that pure, pristine intention. Wow. Okay. I'm sort of floored. This is just such a precious reading. Where do we want to go, Spirit? Let's get some of these animal apothecary cards. I haven't used these in so long, and I'm in the mood. Okay. Oh, all right. We have inner conflict resolution, and we have destiny path. Let's keep going. Say more, Spirit. Jeez. All right, we also have transformation. It's a rainbow phoenix, and then we also have illusion. I don't know if you could see this on camera. I think you can. We have this arrow penetrating this brain, and I don't know why there's a shark in the brain. That I could look in the book another time, but for me, what's coming through is that when we can take accountability, deploy wise discernment with our internal conflicts, and to step into this inner conflict resolution, we dismiss and dispel, or rather disperse any sort of false perceptions, any illusions, and this makes way for this personal transformation. This is what will usher in your phoenix rising from the ashes moment, and what will unfurl your destiny's path in this phase of this journey. I'm so distracted. Look what just in the unconscious position, we have this quantum jump. The synchronicities are so profound in this reading. This is becoming one of my favorite all-time readings. So listen, this is saying exactly what I just said about time and space. So something I've learned through energy anatomy is that when we do not acknowledge our quantum existence, it's usually because there's fear. When we have fear, it's a strategic placement of fear. What does fear do? It slows us down. If all of us were in pure alignment, we're in total oneness, in total resonance with the quantum field, we wouldn't need, fear wouldn't exist, because we would have full faith in self. We would have full, let me correct myself. It's not faith, it's knowing. We would have full, complete knowing that when we call upon this, it is instantly manifested in our reality. What's being pushed into the unconscious is our ability to quantum leap. So grasshoppers or crickets, I don't know what that is. I think it's a grasshopper, hence quantum leap. Think about a grasshopper. They have massive hind legs. Their hind legs can propel them incredible distances for their teeny tiny little bodies. That normally shouldn't be able to happen. If you scaled that little body up into, like, say, imagine if like a lion could jump as far and propel their big body as far as a grasshopper could. That would be insane. That wouldn't even make sense, right? It would be pretty scary as well. You are being called to tap into the quantum part of you, the higher self that can and will make these quantum leaps in your reality. Again, this is what's being pushed into the shadows. No one can assess why you're pushing that into the shadow. Only you can. I mean, let's name some generic reasons why someone would push this into the shadows. It's scary. It's terrifying. Like, let's just own what it is. If you have a very big goal, if you have a big dream, if you feel that your calling is bigger than your heart and body can hold right now, it makes sense you would be terrified to try and leap into that destiny without taking all of these mini steps forward. Now, I'm not here to tell you what is right for you. I've seen it done many different ways. I've seen people leap into the deep end before they're ready, and I've seen it work, and I've seen it be a hot mess, and both of those outcomes are divine. Like, you're gonna learn the lessons either way, so it's your choice, it's your preference, this is your life, so it's up to you what kind of I don't want to say I was about to say, what kind of mess do you want to make? But I say that in the most loving, compassionate way. And I'm giggling because I've made so many messes in my own life. But you know what? They were my messes. They were intentional messes. I leaped off the cliff in many different ways. And in other ways, I spent 15 years terrified to leap off the cliff. There's so many versions. But you know what? My fear in leaping off the cliff and what what kept me from making that leap or making those changes to make that leap was all the lessons I needed to learn. So many parts of self. And you know what? I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready to teach people about this stuff. I wasn't ready to educate and help people heal and help guide people. I didn't have the tools. I didn't have the skills. So it was perfectly timed when I made the leap. So I would, this message more is about, it's okay. Like, let it go. If any of you are judging yourself for not being able to make a leap, that's what I think we're being called to excavate and take care of right now. Be kind to yourself. What is the next kindest step? Because you know what? Let me just break it down for you. There's always going to be work to do. So you can grieve that you're not doing the work that you want to do, or you can chop wood and carry water and pick up a broom and handle the work that's right in front of you. That's just the nature of the path. Woo, okay. Do we want to get anything else? I kind of want to keep going. It's just such a... this whole reading is vibrating. And you know what? It's very clear. The energy is very pristine. And I sort of love that we're not in the separation energies. We're not like, looking at feminine, looking at masculine. We're not pinning ourselves against the other one or pinning our inner parts against each other. Like, we're just all doing the same work in different iterations. All right, what do we got? We have High Priestess, harness mystic power. And we had High Priest under here. We had High Priest right here. Okay, I mean, come on, High Priest and High Priestess. Do you understand the magnitude of actually this? When it came out, I didn't understand the magnitude, but now I do. This means that the feminine energies on the planet, the masculine energies on the planet have reached a critical mass of spiritual expertise, of mastery. I'm not saying they're masterful or they're masters. I'm saying both of these energies have touched mastery. They are here at the same time. Do you understand what a big deal that is? Wow. Okay. And what do we got? What does this say? We have Lord, take charge with authority in reverse. Yeah, I mean, we've talked about this. There's certain things blocking, and that's okay. That's okay. This is about discernment. This is about taking accountability. We also have shed the old skin in reverse. Again, this is when you can wield your wise discernment in a way that takes care of and nurtures your inner conflicts, right? You are resolving that which exists within self. That is when you will be able to cast off this outer shell or shed this skin and step into what your divine transformation. We also have unlock the magic within and Earth Mother, feel loved and comforted. Listen, you cannot step into the darkness and density of this work without taking light with you. Your job is to love yourself exactly where you're at without trying to be somewhere you're not. Right? That'll just send you into a spiral. That will put so much pressure on yourself that you will shut down and not be able to you won't have the energy to do the work that's actually right in front of you. Yeah, and I'm sorry, I'm distracted. In the unconscious, we have this lady card. It says, enjoy growth and reap the rewards. Listen, if you can't call your spirit back to the present moment and bring awareness, peace, and gratitude and love and enjoy what's happening around you right now in the present moment, you have no business, thrusting yourself in the past or in the future. This is what's being pushed into the shadows. Your ability to enjoy your growth, to honor how far you've come. When you can really sink back into profound awe and wonder over your own journey. You did this. No one else walked this path for you. You did this for you. If you can't enjoy your growth and reap the rewards of this profound path that you've been walking for so long, you have no business doing more work. right? It's not sustainable. You'll work yourself into the ground. You'll burn out. It's not sustainable. I'm going to say it again. It's not sustainable. So your job in this moment, your homework, is to maybe carve out 5 to 10, 15 minutes. God, if you have an hour, great. To just spend time reflecting on how far you've come, what you've accomplished, where you're no longer reacting when you used to react, where you're holding your tongue where you used to say something. These seemingly small moments of control, of energetic, emotional, mental control are such profound victories in your consciousness, in your psyche. No one is going to understand how hard you've had to work to get to where you are. It's going to look very easy on the outside. When people view you, they're going to be like, oh, she's so chill, or he's so put together. They don't understand what it took for you to get here. And they don't need to. And it's not your job to explain it. Your job is to enjoy your own rewards. Those rewards are for you. I'm very drawn to pluck the apples from the tree. Pluck the apples from your tree of your life. Not the tree of life, your tree of life. Each apple is a fruit that you've gained and from your hard work, from nurturing the seeds, from taking care of this tree, from helping, the hydration and the wind and the sun and making sure it gets what it needs to thrive. You did that. No one else did that. It's your growth to celebrate. Beautiful. Big reading. Big reading today. Where do we want to go? Do we want to end? I feel like we can't end. I just don't want to, but I feel like we should. Spirit, is there anything else you want me to share? Is there anything else? Let's get some fun. Let's get some of these. Let's get a little perspective. Okay, Spirit, how would you like to close this reading? Interesting, my nose is running all of a sudden. Whoa, okay. Let's see why it's running. Let me read these. It says, I witness the darkness and call on the light with my prayer. Thank you, universe, for guiding me to perceive this fear through the eyes of the teacher of love. There is a stream of love supporting my dreams. I'm very emotional today. These are very, very big feeling reading. There's nothing sexier than my authentic truth. Beautiful. Anything else, Spirit? When I lean on certainty and faith, I change my mind about the world I see. When I'm connected to my joyful presence, I attract support from the universe. Out of all these cards, I'm really drawn to this. It reminds me about what I said. In order to make this path sustainable, and right, we all want to do that. We love ourselves enough to want to take a step forward in a kind enough, compassionate, empathic way that we are caring for self, right? We want to do that. It reminds me of what I said. In order to make this path sustainable, in order to go into the darkest depths that this path takes us in, we need to bring light down there, right? This is the prayer. Thank you, universe, for guiding me to perceive this fear through the eyes of the teacher of love. Period. I'm going to leave it there. This was so beautiful. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for, tolerating my, me, right? Which is another part of self, right? All right. I'm sending you all so much love. I will see you in the next one.